Today we're looking at ratio, and first of all, let's explain the meaning of a ratio. We say a ratio is a way of comparing one part of an object to another whole object, comparing two whole objects together, or a part of it to a whole. So a ratio results when we're comparing one part of a whole to another part. Let's say, for example, if we have this block, and we divide it into some number of places, this is 8. Let's say we divide these as slices of bread, for example. So if I decide to shade the first, the second, and the third one, okay, and then we ask you what is the ratio of the shaded one, okay. So when we are comparing one part of a whole to another, then we can talk of ratio. Okay, let's skip the third one and shade the fourth one. Okay, let's say if we have this, we say what is the ratio of the shaded portion. So you can see we can make a ratio of the shaded and the unshaded. For example, let's say shaded, we write S. Unshaded, we write U. Okay, for ratio, the shaded one, how many of them? Altogether there are 8. The shaded one is 3. So I write 3. And the unshaded one is what? The unshaded one is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The unshaded one is 5. So shaded to unshaded is ratio 3 to 5. Shaded to unshaded is ratio 3 to 5. Is that okay? So a ratio is a way of comparing one part of a whole to another. One part of a whole to another. Another one we can show is if we decide to have a circle, for example, and we divide it to maybe probably 4 parts or 6 parts, depending on how many parts we want to. Okay, let's divide it to more parts. Okay, 4 parts. Now, if I have each of these parts is a sector, if I have these ones, and I want us to find the ratio of the shaded to the unshaded. Okay, find the ratio of the shaded to the unshaded. Now we see that we only shaded only the one sector of the circle. One sector which is part of a circle. There are 4 sectors in the circle. There are what? 4 sectors in the circle. So the shaded, the ratio of the shaded to the unshaded is ratio what? Ratio 1 to ratio 3. Ratio 1 to ratio 3. Because we have what? How many shaded? We have how many shaded? This is S, okay? This is not 5. Don't confuse this for 5. This is letter S. Ratio 1 to ratio 3. Shaded to unshaded. Ratio 1 to 3. So, from definition, we say ratio is a way of comparing one part of a whole to another. This is one part. The shaded one is one part. The unshaded one is another part. Okay? And it's the same whole thing. A whole thing. So a ratio is a way of comparing one part of a whole to another part. A ratio can also be expressed as fraction of the whole. Can also be expressed as fraction. Now, how do we express this as fraction? For example, now you say, how many do we have altogether for this? We have 8. Okay? We have 8. So for the shaded, what is the fraction of the shaded to the unshaded? It's 3 out of 8. So you say 3 over 8, not 3 over 5. So for shaded, we say 3 over 8. Why do we say shaded is 3 over 8? The fractional part of shaded is 3 over 8. Why did we say that? Why did we say that? because there are 8 altogether. There are 8 slices. There are 8 slices. There are 8 slices altogether. So the shaded slices are 3. So altogether is 8. So you say 3 over 8, 3 out of 8. So if you want to do the fraction for the unshaded, you also count the unshaded one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 unshaded, not out of 3, but out of 8. Altogether 8. So when you're doing the fractional part, you do over the total. Okay? You do over the total. Is that okay? So when if you look at the second sentence here, we say a ratio can also be expressed as fraction. So one way of expressing ratio as fraction is to demonstrate what we have said. The shaded one, you count the shaded one. Okay, if there are 3 shaded ones, you count the 3 shaded ones over the whole total, not over 5. Don't say over 5 because it's ratio 3 to 5. You say 3 over 5 for shaded. That will be wrong. That will be wrong. Okay, so that's that for that. Now for the second one, if you want to find the fraction, if you want to count the fraction of this, you want to do fraction out of this ratio, you don't say the shaded one is 1 all over 3. You don't do that. That will amount to wrong. Okay? You say 1 over, the fraction will be 1 over the total for shaded. There is only one shaded. There is only one shaded. So the fraction will be 1 out of the total of all the sectors. There are 4 sectors. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 sectors. So you say 1 over the total, which is 4. So the shaded fraction from this shape is 1 all over 4. For the unshaded, this is for shaded. Okay, we can write as shaded. Okay, for the unshaded, we have how many unshaded? 1, 2, 3. Out of what? Out of 4. So for the unshaded, the fractional part is 3 over 4. It's 3 over 4. It's 3 over 4. Is that okay? Now let's we say we often use ratio instead of fraction. Most of the time we use ratio when we are comparing or when we are trying to show how things are shared. Okay, if you are trying to show how things are shared, you use ratio instead of using fraction. Or in any situation where we might use scale factors. Any situation when you might use scale factors, then we always use the ratio. We always use the ratio instead of using fraction. Is that okay? Okay. For example, if pizzas were sliced into 8 pieces and shared in the ratio of 6 to 2, let's say we have 8 pieces of pizza. We can say 8 slices, like we wrote earlier on, 8 slices of pizza. And then these pizzas are shared in the ratio of 6. Maybe Percy A took 6 slices, and Percy B took 2 slices. Okay, let's say Faiz only took 2 slices. Okay, so if we share this in the ratio of 6 to 2, then we can reduce this ratio in the simplest form. You know, we can always reduce the ratio in the simplest form. First of all, putting it like this, it means you put it in form of a ratio of Percy A to Percy B. Because the question says, Percy A took, he said, if pizzas were sliced into 8 pieces and shared in the ratio of 6 to 2, this means that Percy A received 6 slices and Percy B received only 2 slices of the pizza. So putting in the ratio is like this, but ratio are always reduced to the simplest form. So to reduce this ratio to the simplest form means I divide both sides by 2. Okay, I divide both sides by 2. So if I divide here by 2, why am I dividing both sides by 2? Because 2 is the highest number for this one. And 2 can divide both numbers that we are seeing. So if I divide here by 2 and I divide here by 2, I will get a simpler form of the ratio. I will get a simpler form of the ratio. 6 divided by 2, we get 3. So we get 3 here and 2 divided by 2, we get 1. So we get ratio 3 to 1. We get ratio 3 to 1. What this means is that this does not mean that the person A got only 3 slices and person B got only 1 slice. That's not what it means. It means that we simplify the ratio, we put the ratio in the simplest form. Okay? You can have other form that you can express this ratio. For example, this is just the simplest form of the ratio. Okay? What this one means is that person A is taking 3 times as much as what person B is taking. This is what the simplest form represents. The simplest form is showing that person A is always taking 3 times as much as what person B takes. Person A takes 3 times. For example, if person A takes 12 slices, let's say the number increases. If person A takes 12 slices, what will person B take? Person B will take, if you take it 12, what it means is that for A to be 12, what it means is that we multiply, it means we must have multiplied this one by 4. That's why this one is 12. So it means we must have multiplied here by 4. Then we also do the same to person B. We must multiply here by 4. That's why here is 12. And then we should also multiply here by 4. If we say person A receives, from this ratio, person A receives 12 slices, how many slices of bread will person B receive? Person B will receive 4. 4 times 1 is 4. We receive 4. Okay, so if we say person A receives 300 slices of bread, how many slices of bread will person B receive? How many slices of bread will person B receive? If you look at here, the simplest ratio, from 3 to 300, what it means is that you must have multiplied by 100. What it means is that you must have what? Multiply this ratio 3, the simplest form of the ratio, by 100. That's why 3 became 300. So you do the same to the other side that you don't know. You do the same. So you multiply here by 100 in order to get there. How many slices of bread this person will receive? You multiply here also by 100 in order to know how many slices of bread this person will receive. So 1 times 100 is 100. So you get 100 here. So it will be ratio 100 to ratio 300 to ratio 100. Okay? This person will receive 300 slices of bread, person A, and person B will receive 100 slices of bread. If person A is receiving, person B is now receiving 200. How many slices of bread will person A receive? If this guy, person B, is now receiving 200 slices of bread, how many slices of bread will person A receive? Okay? What it means, you always go back to, you link whatever is here to the simplest ratio. From 1 to 200 means we must have multiplied here with 200. What it means is that we must have multiplied here with 200. We have multiplied. For you to move from 1 to 200, it means you multiply 1 by 200. So once you link what is given to you, then you do the same to the other side. So it means we multiply the simplest form of the ratio with 200. 1 times 200 is 200. That's why here is 200. Similarly, you do the same here. You come and multiply 3 with 200. You come and multiply 3 with 200 and you get this number of slices person will get. So you multiply here by 200. If you do that, if you multiply here by 200, you will get 600. Because 3 times 200, you get 600. So person A would have received 600 slices of bread, while person A, meaning the total slices would have been 800, which is very similar to how we started. You know, the total slice was 8, and this one got 6, and this one got 2. When it became 800 by adding 2 zeros, this one will get 600, and this one will get 200. Okay? You can see the logic. You can see how it's working for what we say. So this is how we play with the beginning of ratio. We can also use ratio to share money. Okay? Like sharing things. This one is comparing things. What we just described is comparing things. Okay? We use ratio to compare things. We use ratio to share things. Okay? Compare and share. Compare and share. Okay? Now let's take a look at how we use it to share money given to you by your father or given to you by by friends or given to you by anyone. Compare and share. Now let's use it to share money. Okay? Let's use ratio to share money. We can use it to share money for a family. Now we're going to choose one family and we use ratio to share. Okay, let's say your father gives you some money. Let's say $100. Okay, for you to share $100. In the ratio, we're going to give a specific ratio. Okay, in the ratio of shared $100 in the ratio of, okay, this is question 2, okay? We've just finished question 1. Or this question 3, this is supposed to be question 3. The one we did just now was question 2. This one is for 8 slices of bread is question 2. While this one we did first time question 1. 1A and 1B. 1A and 1B. Okay? Okay, now okay. So we'll be given $100 by our close relative or our father. Now we want to share the $100. Faiz is excited. We want to share $100, right? Okay. So this $100, let's say we want to share in the ratio of. Okay, let's say it's between Abdamid, Saliu, and Omar. In the ratio of 7 to 4. Seven to 5. Let's make this one ratio 5. Saliu is a big boy. So that's 12 and 3 ratio. Okay. Okay, let's say we're going to share the $100 in this ratio. Ratio 7 to 5 to 3. So we want to share $100. We can increase the money if we feel. We can increase it to $200 if we so want. Okay, so we want to know how much Abdamid will receive from this $100. How much money he will get from this $100. So the first thing you do is to find the sum of ratio. Okay, the sum. You have to add the ratios together and find the sum of the ratio. So to find the sum is to quickly say 7 plus 5, the ratio for Abdamid plus ratio for Saliu, from the ratio number of Omar. Okay, we add them together, we get what? We get 15, right? Sum of ratio gives us 15. Okay, if that is true, we can now find how much each person will get. So you write the name, A, ratio for A will be equal to what? His ratio number. What is his ratio number? His ratio number is what? 7. His ratio number is what? 7. So you say 7 over the total ratio. Not 7 over whatever. 7 over the sum of the ratio. 7 over the sum of the ratio, which is 15, multiplied by the money, sum of the money that is given to. Okay, let's increase this money so that it will be tangible enough. Let's say the money is $450 in US dollar, okay, not in ringgit or not in Singaporean dollar. Okay, 450 USD has been given. So we say we want to share 450 USD. Let's see how much each of these guys will get. So we say multiply by the money. Once you do the ratio of Abdamid, what is supposed to get, 7 over 15, you multiply by the total money that has been given to them to share. Okay? we multiply. Okay? So what we do, 15, we can cancel out. 50 can go into 45, it will be 3. Right? That's 30. 450, 50 going to 450 is 30. 30 times 7, that will be 210. Right? Okay, so 50 goes here. 50 into 50, we get 1. 50 goes into 450, we get 30. How? You take it one at a time. 50 go to 45, you know it's 3. Without a calculator, you can do. And then you add the 0. That's 30. So 30 multiplied by 7. See, at the mid, we get $210. That's quite a lot for him. Big boy. So he gets something very meaningful, something very relatable, something very spendable. Okay, so he gets $210. If he converts to any other currency lower than dollar, he gets a lot of money. Okay, if you convert this to some currency, I don't want to mention some currency. If you convert to some currency, you get a lot of money. Okay, okay. Now let's see what salary we get. Salary we get. His ratio is 5. His ratio is 5, right? So we say 5 over 15. 5 over 15. It's the same way, right? The same logic. Multiply by 450, which is the money given to them to share. Which is the money sent to them to share, okay? By anyone. The money can come from anyone. Maybe they did a job together, but they are told to share in this ratio, okay? So if we do this, then we will do the same. 50 go into 450, we get 30, we get 30. Okay, 30 multiplied by 5, we get 150. Right? You don't need a calculator sometimes. You just say 5 times 3, 15. You add the 0 in front. So you say $150. So he gets $150. How do you get $150? That's quite something, you know. If you convert to ringgit, it's even something. If you convert to Indonesia rupee, right? It will be some India rupiah. Rupee will be something a lot. Okay, convert to African money to be a lot for some countries. Okay, so this is very meaningful. Then let's see what Umar will get. Umar gets 3 out of 15. 3 over the sum of ratio. 3 is the ratio of Umar over the total sum of the ratio, multiplied by the money that has been given to them to share, and let's see what Umar gets. Okay? But even at that, it sees something. It's going to be meaningful. Okay? So we say 50 goes into 45 or goes into 450. We get what? We get 30. Same division for all three. So 30 times this woman gets $90. $90 is a lot. Okay, for him. $90. Woman gets $90. That's a lot if you convert it to other currency. Okay, so this is what we use ratio to do. We can use it to compare things. We can use it to share things. We can use it to do so many things. Is that okay? Now let's take other example. Okay, let's take other example from the book. Question number 4. Let's take other example from the book. Let's say question number 4 here. Okay, we say Zachary has a collection of toys. Okay, we can use any name we like. Okay, Zachary. Zachary has a collection of toys. Okay, we should just go to the mathematical questions, not the English part of the questions. Has a collection of toys, right? Collection of toys. Okay, he has a collection of toy cars. Okay, they're actually toy cars, not just toy cars. He has a lot. Hugo Choco has a lot. Maybe he likes to play toy cars. Okay. He has 12 red cars, 9 silver cars, and 4 blue. So I'm going to write red to simplify it. 12 red. He has red, silver cars, and blue car. So for red, he has 12. So we just put it in the ratio straight away so that we can just move ahead. And he has 9 for silver cars. He has 9 silver cars. And then he has 4 blue cars. These are his toy cars. He has 12 red cars, 9 silver cars, and 4 blue cars. What's the ratio of the silver cars to red cars? Now, comparison. They want to compare. This application is for comparison, not just knowing the number of red cars. They're saying what is the ratio of the silver cars to red cars. So we're going to make it like a fraction. Silver cars. So how many silver do we have? We have 9. Okay, for silver we have 9 cars. So you say ratio of silver to what? You say what's the ratio of silver cars to red? So a question is ratio of silver, the ratio of silver cars Okay, I just write silver cars to red cars. Okay, so silver, we write silver to red. How many silver cars we have? We have 9. So we write 9 here. How many red cars we have? We have 12. So the ratio is 9 to 12. We can simplify it, right? We can simplify it to the simplest ratio by dividing both sides by a common denominator, a common factor. A factor that can divide both numbers. So such factor is 3, right? So we divide both sides with 3. So if we divide here with 3, we should also divide here with 3. A common number. We cannot divide by 2 because 2 cannot go into 9 without a remainder. We cannot divide by 4. Although 4 can go into 12, 4 cannot go into 9 without a remainder. So a common number that can go into both is 3. So 9 divided by 3, we get 3. We get 3 here. And 12 divided by 3, we get 4. So the ratio of silver cars to red car is, the answer will be ratio 3 to 4. The simplest form of the ratio. Okay? You know, we always put, I think we talked about putting things in the simplest form of ratio when we started. Okay? Simplest form of ratio. So we put the answer in the simplest form of ratio. Ratio 3 to 4 is the simplest form of ratio. Okay? You can also put this in this fraction. We can put it in fractional form. So writing it in fraction, this is as in ratio. So this is for ratio. We can write ratio here. What about fraction? If we want to put it to be in the fractional form. To be in the fractional form, to write it in form of fraction, we can write it like this. In the form of fraction, we can write it like this. In the form of fraction, we can write it like this. 9 over 12. The silver will be on top, or you write silver first, silver over red. Okay, well, let's write silver over red. Silver car to red cars. So you write red at the bottom. So which is 9 for silver cars over 12 for red cars, which is equal to, if you reduce this one, you get 3 over 4. You get 3 over 4 in form of fraction. Okay, we can either write it like this in ratio, but hopefully we have to write in ratio first because the question is asking you a ratio of silver cars to red cars. So you must write the answer in form of ratio. That's the A part of the question. The B, let's take a look at the B part of the question. Okay, let's take a look at the B part of the question. The B part of the question says, what is the ratio of red cars to the total number of cars? So I'll just read red to total. Red to, what's the ratio of red cars to total cars? So we must find sum of ratio now so that we can know the total cars that tree has to total, red to total. So we already know the number of red is 12, right? So we write 12 to what? 12 to ratio what? Sum. What's the sum? Then here we come, we add them together. To find the sum, we have to add them together. So let's add 12 plus 9 plus 4. 12. You must find the total cars he has. 12 plus 9, which is 21, plus 4, which is 25. So the total cars, we say total, I write T, or sum. Can you say sum or total? Equal to 25. So when they ask you what's the ratio of the red car to the total number of cars he has, you write the number of cars for red over the total, or to the ratio of the total. To the ratio of the total, which is 25. Now here, you see 12 and 25, 2 cannot divide both, 3 cannot, 5 cannot. So this is you cannot simplify this one to the simplest form. This will be the simplest form. Is that okay? And you can also write it as a fraction. This is as ratio. You know, I say you can leave the answer as in ratio form, or you leave the answer in fractional form. You can leave the answer in ratio form, or you leave the answer in fractional form. So if we want to leave the answer in fractional form, so for fraction, we write, for fraction, we write for fraction, we write 12 over 25. In form of fraction, we just write 12 over 25. That's it. That's if you want to put it in fractional notation. The third part of the question, the C part of the question, says, the third part of the question says, what's the ratio of red cars to blue cars? So I'll write red to blue, arrow to B. What's the ratio of arrow to blue cars? To blue cars. So we already know the number of red cars. They are 12, right? We already know the number of red cars. We know that they are 12. We know they are 12. Red cars are 12. And then blue cars are 4. So in ratio, we simplify our ratio. If you are writing in form of ratio, you can also put the answer in form of fraction. Okay? Okay, so if we are writing in form of ratio, we do this. And then we simplify. If what can go? 4 can divide both sides. Why? Why can 4 divide? Because 4 can divide 12, 4 can divide 4. So we always put ratio in the simplest form. Okay, by dividing both sides by the common factor. So I divide here by 4. I also divide here by 4. Okay, so if I divide here by 4, I will get what? 3. I will get 3 here. If I divide 4 divided by 4 is not 0, okay? 4 divided by 4 is 1. So our ratio is now ratio 3 to 1. Our ratio is ratio 3 to ratio 1. So if you want to put this in fractional form, it's the same thing we've constantly written. You just say in fraction, this will become 12 over 4. This will become 12 over 4, the ratio of the red car, or you write arrow over B, so that you don't get confused. So that you always know that the red car goes up first. The first one is always the one to be on top. And then you write arrow, which is 12 cars, over the blue car, which is 4. So in the simplest form, you get 3 over 1, which is 3. You get 3 over 1. Okay? In the simplest form, you get 3 over 1. Okay, so that's that for that question. The fourth part of the question D, what's the ratio of blue cars to red? Blue to red. What is the ratio of blue cars to red cars? Now blue to red for D. For the D part, blue to red. It was red to blue just now, right? Red to blue, now blue to red. Same thing, just flip. So 4 comes first, blue is 4 cars. Okay, let's be fast because it's the same thing. Then 12 comes second. So if you simplify here, 4 divided by 4 you get 1. 12 divided by 4 you get 3. So it's now ratio 1 to 3. Mind you, ratio 1 to 3 is different from ratio 3 to 1. Don't think they are the same answer. This is ratio, the first one was ratio 3 to 1. This one is ratio 1 to 3. So if you mix them up, you're going to fail if you mix them up. In fraction, this will be 1 all over 3. Okay, in fraction, this will be 1 all over 3 if you want to put it in fractional form. Or 4 over 12. Or 4 over 12. Okay, that's that for that. They can ask you what's the percentage of red cars. What's the percentage of blue to red cars? What percentage does it stand for? Okay, blue to red in percentage. So if I want to put this in percentage, blue to red, I will say 1 all over 3 or 4 over 12. Blue to red in percentage. Okay, not only in fraction, we can also put it in percentage. So you say times 100. Anything percentage you multiply by 100. Because this is 1 all over 3. 1 all over 3 times 100. You get 33.33%. 33.33%. If you divide. So this will be the percentage of blue cars to red cars. Okay? Okay, so this is a question. I think we do one more question, and then we do one more question. We'll continue this class on the next class. Okay? We continue the ratio. Same thing, we are done with the ratio. One more class, I think we'll be done with a lot of questions because we need to do a lot of questions in ratio so that we know that ratio is dealt with. The next class will be proportion. The next one we will do will now be proportion. We'll do proportion. If we've not done it before, we will check. If we've not done proportion before, then we'll do it. Okay, now let's take a look at one more question. Question number 5. Question number 5. Ahmad works in a bank and earns $2,000 per month. Wow, that's nice. He works in a bank and earns $2,000 per month. Not bad, right? If you're living in a country like US, $2,000 is very small. If they pay you $2,000, that will not only cover your renter, or may not even cover your renter. But if you are working in a place like Asia and you're earning $2,000, to convert it, you'll get a lot. This is over 9,000 ringgit. This is about 9,000 ringgit or a little bit above. So that will survive in Kuala Lumpur or in Jakarta or in other cities, in the Southeast Asia. Okay, this will be enough. But in US, this will be small. Okay. Now we say Ahmad works in a bank and earns $2,000 a month. Igcse is a teacher and earns $1,500 a month. Okay, this is for Ahmad. Okay, we can use any name we like. You can say this is for Fatah or this is for Yusuf. Yusuf works in a bank and earns $2,000 a month. and Aisha is a teacher and earns $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month. You know, the person working as a teacher earning $1,500 a month could be better than the person working in a bank earning $2,000 a month. Because I have both experience. I've worked in the bank and I've also taught in colleges, in schools, in universities. So okay, we're going to see now. What is the ratio of Aisha salary to Yusuf's salary? What's the ratio of Aisha's salary? So you always write first the one they mention first. They say Aisha first, so I'm going to write A first. What's the ratio of Aisha's salary to Yusuf's salary? So it's not, don't write Yusuf to Aisha like the way I wrote it first time. I was just jotting down what they were saying. But when you want to now solve, you follow the way they ask you the question. What's the ratio of Aisha to Yusuf? So you must write Aisha's O first. So Aisha's O is $1,500, right? $1,500 a month. And Yusuf is $2,000. $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. Now, what's the ratio? Ratio means we have to simplify to the nearest form. Okay. To do that, first of all, we can divide both sides by 100, right? So if we divide both sides by 100, we're going to get 50 to 20, right? Something like that. If you divide here by 100, first and foremost, you can just divide both sides by 100. I know, even though I know that we can divide more. Actually, we can divide with 500 straight away. But I don't want you to be confused. So we take it, we reduce the zeros, divide both sides by 100. This 2 0 cancels this 2 0. We get 15 here. And then these 2 zeros cancel these 2 zeros. We get 20 here. We get 20 here. Okay, now this is not the simplest form of the ratio. If you look at 50 and 20, we can still reduce it further. So we divide by another number we feel can go into 50 and 20. 5. 5 can go into 50 and 5 can go into 20 without remainder. So we use that. That's why I said in the beginning you can divide by 500 because 5 times 100 is 500. But many of you will be confused, so I break it down. So 5 goes into 15, you get 3. And 5 goes into 20. 5 goes into 20, you get 4. So the ratio is ratio 3 to 4. The ratio is ratio Aisha's salary to Yusuf's salary is ratio 3 to 4. That's the first part of the question. Is that okay? And then what's the ratio of Aisha's salary to Yusuf's salary? Okay, that's what it is. In fraction, this is in ratio. Okay, in fraction, this will be 3 over 4. What in percentage? What's the percentage of the salary? In percentage, this will be 3 over 4 times 100. 3 over 4 multiplied by 100. This will be 75, right? 4 goes into, how you know, 4 divided by 100, you get 25. 25 times 3, you get 75. So in percentage, Aisha's salary to Yusuf's salary is, Aisha is earning 75% of what Yusuf is earning. That's the meaning. Aisha is earning 75% of what Yusuf earns. Yusuf is earning 100%. Aisha is getting 75% of what Yusuf gets. Is that okay? Does it make sense? Okay. So that's that for this question, 75%. Okay. So we stop here for this first part of our class, and we meet again to do the part B. Okay. Okay. So today we've come to the end of this class. Thank you for joining us.